It is now when we are called as witnesses of the world, to mend it, to change its course, to restore it. It is now when we are called to act on our values, not to hide, not to fear, but to be bold and loud. It is now that we are called to continue our fight for justice, to organize, to speak up. It is now. Let us gather, let us give each other courage. At this time, we have an opportunity to light our candles of community. You can light a candle for a joy or concern, or simply to bring more light into our space.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
Let's stand together in body or spirit as we light our chalice, join in our spoken affirmation, and light our peace candle. The word courage comes from the Latin cor, which means heart. According to the poet Mark Nepo, the original use of the word courage meant to stand by one's core, a striking concept that reinforces the belief found in almost all traditions that living from the center is what enables us to face whatever life has to offer. To encourage means to hearten, to impart strength and confidence. This is our work as a religious community, to encourage one another, to be bold in engaging the world around us as well as what scares us internally, to give one another the confidence and heart to live as fully as possible. With full hearts, we affirm our relationships with one another. We recognize our agency and our connective power, and we accept our responsibility to be bold and courageous. We light this chalice, symbol of all that we are, all that we have done together, and all that we will be as our shared ministry encourages those within and beyond our walls. Let us join together in the spoken affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and freedom, and to help one another. We light this peace candle to remind us of all the places in the world where there is no peace. Lead me from death to life, from falsehood to truth. Lead me from despair to hope, from fear to trust. Lead me from hate to love, from war to peace. Let peace fill our hearts, our world, our universe. You may be seated. Our opening thought today comes from Maya Angelou from her 2008 commencement address at Cornell University. Courage is the most important of all the virtues, because without courage you can't practice any other virtue consistently. You can practice any virtue erratically, but nothing consistently without courage. Our next reading is from Aristotle, from his work Nicomachean Ethics. Courage is the mother of all virtues, because without it you cannot consistently perform the others. Courage is a mean with regard to fear and confidence. The deficiency is cowardice, and the excess is rashness. Let us join together now for our time of meditation. We'll be hearing the words of Douglas Taylor, a meditation on courage and vulnerability. Let us put both of our feet on the ground if able. Center ourselves. Breathe in and out. In and out. In and out. I'm learning to let down my guard. We all know about the deep instinct to respond to difficulty and stress with either flight or fight, with force or swift retreat, with decisive attack or prompt withdrawal. When faced with stress or difficulty or challenge, I am learning to let down my guard. I am learning to be vulnerable. I am seeking the courage to be open. I would have my vulnerability be a choice made from my courage rather than my fear. I would have my vulnerability be my strength. May my strength be not found as a hard shell of defense or a sharp weapon of attack. May my strength instead be found in an open stance of kindness and empathy, like a tree bending gracefully in the windstorm. May my strength be found in a willingness to join in the suffering of others, like a forest of trees together in a storm. May I choose to be receptive rather than protected, sharing rather than shielded. In this way, may I face my own suffering and the suffering of others with a nimble capacity to respond with compassion. In this way, may my vulnerability be an invitation for others to meet me in the open field with a yearning for understanding and peace. I know this is a risk. I know I may be hurt. I know things may not go well, but still, I will seek the courage to set aside the closed fist, the stinging retort, the barbed judgment of others. I will seek within myself the strength to stand exposed and unguarded before the world, in the wind, open to difficulty, not because I cannot be any other way, but because I have chosen this better way. I am still learning to be vulnerable. I seek the courage to be so vulnerable. May I have others who can help me to be so courageous. May my example serve others as well as myself, and may my strength be our strength in sharing this life openly with others. Our next reading is from Howard Zinn from You Can't Be Neutral on a Moving Train, a personal history. To be hopeful in bad times is not just foolishly romantic. It is based on the fact that human history is a history not only of cruelty, but also of compassion, sacrifice, courage. It's important to know that every little thing we do helps. We don't all have to do heroic things. All we have to do is little things. And at certain points in history, millions of little things come together and change takes place.
Number 86 in the gray hymnal.
Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Help me live with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with a vision. Clear my mind of fear and confusion. When my thoughts flow restlessly, let peace find a home in me. Spirit of great mystery, hear the still small voice in me. Help me live my wordless creed as I comfort those in need. Fill me with compassion, be the source of my intuition. Then when life is done for me, let love be my legacy.
True courage is not the absence of fear. True courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the resolve to do what is right, to do what is just, even in the presence of fear. It would not be prudent to not feel fear in this moment of grave danger for our country and our communities. But it is fiercely urgent that we not let our fear silence us, or, worse yet, let our fear lead us to submit to and become complicit with evil. Not everyone can do everything, but we all must find our own ways to resist injustice in whatever form it may take. True courage is cultivated by love that empowers others, even in the presence of fear. Radical love, expressed courageously in speech and action, is the only way to redemption for our society from the fear and hatred that are spreading so quickly. In these perilous times, it is critical for everyone to find a community that you can trust, not one that doesn't accept you as you are. You should not have to pretend to be someone you are not to gain acceptance and community. Being in communities we can trust will be extremely important in cultivating the courage that we will all need in the months and years ahead. We cannot do this alone. We need each other like never before. Take the courage not to be silent as the fascists are coming into power. They feed off the silence of the masses who obey in advance, and they attempt to create the perception that the overwhelming majority of the populace supports them, and thus frighten people who oppose them into submission. History has shown us the danger of being silent in the face of hate and oppression and threats to human rights, and therefore we cannot be silent. Borrowing from the baptismal vows of my faith tradition, every person is called, quote, to resist evil, injustice, and oppression in whatever forms they present themselves, end quote. Far too often, our churches make us comfortably numb to injustice rather than fully alive for justice. In addition to those churches that are actively promoting Christian nationalism, there are also churches that want to stay neutral or above the fray. You might hear them saying things like, no matter what happens with this election, God is still God. Or some will say things like, we are not called to be political activists, we are just called to serve God. Churches siding with fascism or being apolitical in the face of fascism has been tried before, resulting in devastatingly evil consequences. Choosing to be apolitical in the face of authoritarianism is a political act, and it's called complicity. As Desmond Tutu reminded us, if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. As we are now in the middle of Transgender Awareness Week, it is critically important to always remember that there are many siblings within our community who are extremely vulnerable during this dark time for our country. It is critical that we have courage in our work to protect them from those who are actively seeking to do them harm. We need courage. We need courage not simply for the sake of courage. It's so important that we see clearly what is at stake for humanity and for all of life at this moment. Autocrats around the world are now emboldened to take even more extreme measures to maintain and expand their power. Human rights for women, persons of color, and persons who are LGBTQIA+ that have taken so long to be recognized are under imminent threat. Preserving a livable climate hangs in the balance. Reproductive rights may be lost on a national level. True religious liberty is at grave risk of being engulfed by Christian nationalism. The power of oligarchs to shape and control our lives within society is becoming so strong so as to seem to be almost unbreakable. The institutions that we hoped would protect the integrity of our democratic republic are being corrupted and are failing. They are failing. And they're hanging by a thread over the fire of fascism and authoritarianism. The dangers are real, and the threats are deadly. False hope that everything will be all right in the end has simply become another form of cynicism that there is nothing we can do. There is much to fear, and that is why we need each other so much, more than ever, to find the courage to face these perilous times together. May we help one another. May we help one another. to become a community of courage that works for the fulfillment of love and justice in the world, no matter what. As Winston Churchill once warned about the lack of a serious response to the rise of fascism in his time, with these words, the era of procrastination, of half measures, of soothing and baffling expedients, of delays is coming to its close. In its place, we are entering a period of consequences. And now that we are in the period of real consequences, especially for the most vulnerable among us, we must count the cost. We must count the cost of preserving freedom and justice. We must count the cost of being followers of the way of love and justice in this world. May we find courage from one another in our life-giving work for beloved community. At this time, we have our time of giving. You may give at the table in the back, and there's also opportunities to give online.
Teal hymnal 128.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living brings a song of brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment
us stand in body or spirit for a closing thought and extinguishing the chalice. Our closing thought comes from Nelson Mandela from Long Walk to Freedom. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Let us join in extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish these flames, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.